Hi, I'm Ben, and this is the fifth episode of Benu Creative Podcast, focusing on discussing with my guests about their experience and also their point of view in different topics related to personal developments. In this episode, I'm talking with Leidy, and we are trying to talk about some experiences she already had in her current position. I think it's really valuable and she has lots of things to share with us. So, hi, Lady. Thank you for accepting my request to, talk in this episode. And yeah, maybe it's a good idea to start with kind of introduction and sharing your background. Could you tell us a bit about your journey?
Sure, of course. And thank you so much, Ben, for having me here. I'm very honored. I'm also a little bit nervous and excited because this is my first podcast in English. Yeah, so I'm doing my best here and enjoying the experience already. So, and hello, everyone. So, well, about me. So, I'm originally from Colombia, but I have been living in Barcelona for about 5 years, maybe a little bit more. And my journey, let's say I'm going to take into the reference point my professional journey, and I will connect it with some personal experiences, I think. So my journey began when I was like a teenager at school, and I decided to study psychology. And so my bachelor degree is in psychology. Yes, and in that experience, I discovered my interest in accompanying people in their life projects. I myself have a notebook about life project, and that's going to be something relevant to talk about my experience as a career advisor, which is currently what I do in my full time job. So I've always had a life project, a notebook, and it was kind of my motivation to also guide other people into this, let's say, methodology to organize life and to have conversations with themselves. Then, well, I work as a psychologist in the HR field. Then I decided to make a huge change and go to Qatar Airways and work as a cabin crew. And there I started to be even more to have more cultural awareness because I worked with a lot of people from different backgrounds, different countries. Let's say I didn't have like a very specific training or theoretical training in cultural awareness, but I had it in my practical life, dealing with customers and also with my work colleagues. I think this was like the university of life. And then while I was working in Qatar Airways, I came to Barcelona and I decided that I wanted to stay here. So, well, I made my decision to make my transition again back to my career. I did a master's degree in psychoanalysis. I love reading Freud, Lacan. Maybe some of your listeners know them. And then, well, it has been quite of a journey here in Barcelona. I have been a student. I have been an employee in restaurants when I started again my work life here. But all of this time, I have been working also with patients around the world. Yeah, so I have my patients, and I see them in a weekly or biweekly basis, which has been quite an enriching experience because I've been like in touch with life projects through all of this journey, even when starting with Qatar Airways. And well, everything led me to my career advisor role right now, when I accompany people in shaping their professional life project. So yeah, I think like my mission is to empower people and myself as I do it with myself to navigate their journeys with confidence and a sense of purpose.
Fabulous. And you have been working at Ironhead for more than 2 years, I think.
Yeah, around 2 years and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, and as I know, it should be a great experience because at the same time you have to work with different people all around the world, as well as I'm not sure, but as I found, your students at Ironhack also have different backgrounds from different countries, right?
Exactly. Yes, like um same as my patients and all of my work experience. Like my students right now, my job seekers are from different backgrounds, and not only different backgrounds in their careers, but also cultural backgrounds. And they are like most of them are expats. Yes,
Uh, right.
they are they come to live to different countries.
So, in terms of your experience, what were some common challenges that, I mean, international students face when they are trying to build their career in a new country? Because, as I know, most of the students who already joined or they have a plan to join the boot camps or the things at Ironhack, usually they are thinking to settle a new journey in a new country or even change their career path. Could you please explain a little bit based on your experience those kind of challenges they are facing and how you can or how you help them to, tackle these kind of challenges?
Sure. So I think the most common challenges, Ben, for my job seekers are about language barriers. Also, like they are new in the market. They are in a new environment and they need to learn about cultural norms, like cultural rules. Even though you can keep your own style, you also need to integrate something new. And we are not often aware of the mental effort that this takes. Yes. And maybe like in my experience, I have found myself even tired and sometimes I don't know why. And then like with time, I come to realize, okay, like in a completely different country, I have to switch language all day long, and I'm learning new things, still learning new things. So these are struggles for everyone, for every expat. But when you are looking for a job in a new country, definitely you need to start adapting to the cultural rules, including the language. Also, some other challenges are about people communicating their skills on their CVs and LinkedIn profiles and during interviews. And like they are like all of us, expats or not, are facing the ambiguity and they are saying the uncertainty of the job market. Yeah, so this can bring feelings of frustration because you don't know how to face that. So and one more thing is that I find that many people tell me, okay, I'm an introvert, so it's going to be very difficult for me to find new relationships. And let me tell you, being an introvert cannot be the excuse. Um, Being an introvert is just one part of your personality, but it doesn't define everything. And even if you are an introvert, you are going to face a work environment where you will need to collaborate with other people, and you will need to like get over this challenge, of course. So I think like something that comprehends all of these challenges is that people struggle to keep like good mental health habits, and they struggle to stick to a plan. Like they struggle with time management and they struggle with motivation. So beyond having very specific strategies, like my first recommendation will always be to try to sit down and have a plan and visualize. And I think then that this is a very important topic for you when we think about future and playing with the future. And we need to do this when we get to a new place and when we are adapting, because having a plan will help us facing the uncertainty and will help us focus on what we can control. We cannot control the market. We cannot control that in the environment they ask us to know the language, but we can start learning. We can start sticking to our habits, like well-being habits, such as having breakfast or sleeping 8 hours per day, like the basic things. And then from there, you start like taking higher levels of habits, such as training or doing yoga or meditation, journaling. And I'm sure these things will enhance our self-confidence. And I can tell it myself because like I have been having my life project notebook for a very long time. And in times of uncertainty, it has been my rock.
Great. Yeah. Thank you for sharing those main points. Speaking of ambiguity and uncertainty, exactly one of the main reasons we talked about organizing that future of job webinar a few weeks ago for students at Iron Hedge. That was exactly the main reason, how we can think, how we can cope, how we can approach to the future in terms of this kind of ambiguity, uncertainty, and complexity.
Oh, and also with some creativity and humor.
Yeah, and imagination, of course.
Yeah. You like with that.
Yeah. But based on your experience and your background, because you already, as you mentioned, you studied in psychology as well, it seems for better navigation towards future in this situation you explained, I mean, coping with ambiguity, uncertainty, and complexity, it seems we need some different or some specific soft skills. I can mention them as transferable skills, but anyway, some skills. My question is, why are the main soft skills, especially, I mean, those which are really important for international students, for example, at Iron Hedge, because they need to cope with different people from different culture and backgrounds and things like that. If you want to share some soft skills which are really important, which ones, do you mention?
For us, soft skills are very, very important. They are crucial because they are the bridge between hard skills and like in the workplace dynamics.
Because at Iron Hedge, mostly you are focusing on hard skills, right?
I mean, yeah, the bootcamp focuses on
hard
skills, and then when they come to the career services, we focus, of course, on soft skills because we need well-rounded professionals, right? And a well-rounded professional is not only about knowing their processes, but also like a certain level of self-awareness in connection with other people. Yes. And these soft skills are also transferable skills. Like you will use them across every single role, and you will need them all the time in your life. Yeah. So I would include 3 main soft skills. Let's say that also include many of other soft skills, but let's say for me, communication, adaptability, especially for expats, for foreign students, and emotional intelligence are my top 3, even starting from emotional intelligence. Being a psychologist and also like throughout my personal experience, I found that people that are emotionally intelligent can navigate their work life and every challenge in their life in a better way. Like they are more fluent, let's say. They are able to be empathetic with other people and also to be more compassionate with themselves. And to build this emotional intelligence can be like a life task, and you need to do it at every step of your way, by writing, by answering questions to yourself, and also by having conversations with other people to reach your point of view of life. And then when you start from there, you can be sure that communication will come up more naturally. And you will build little by little this ability to express your value, to identify how can you contribute to a team or to a group of friends, and then adaptability, because you are going to be able to manage your transitions. But everything comes from emotional intelligence.
Which is really difficult. These kind of stuff, talking about them is really easy. I mean, but when you want to apply them, it's really difficult, complicated. Sometimes it's overwhelming. And that's why if I want to ask you to, for example, just share with us some tips in terms of how we can apply them practically in our daily life. Do you have any offer?
Of course, I have some ideas about it.
Because anyway, you are you are exactly career advisor at Iron Hatch. And I think every day maybe you have lots of discussions with your students at Iron Hatch, how they can apply this kind of stuff in their career, right?
Of course, yes. Ben, so in my role, I had to learn to be more straightforward, because all of these things, like for me, are quite philosophical, existential somehow. And it has taken me some time to come up with more practical tips and techniques to just recognize them, because you need to be able to start looking for a job soon because we all need to survive. Yes. So one of the things that I advise my students to start from is to have an inventory of their skills, at least to identify, like, have a list of 50 of their best qualities, and then translate that into 10 or 5 soft skills. Yes, and they can use a dictionary of soft skills, because we have dictionaries about this. We have official names for soft skills, and it's a good exercise. And in this way, they are also getting to know themselves and recognizing themselves. Yes. Another exercise, and this is more practical to the job search, is to identify in 5 job offers what are the skills that they mention, hard skills and soft skills, and have a list of them, and maybe even a list of the goals of the role, or the actions for the roles, the tasks that they are going to be executing in this role. Yes. And then in parallel, have their own list of roles, the skills that they needed to be in these roles, the accomplishments of these roles, and then they need to compare both lists. Yes. And then find the differences, the similarities, and then start adjusting their resume according to this. Whenever possible, try to adjust the job description according to like something that aligns with the job offer that they are applying for. And this also will give them the material to have a good cover letter, and to pitch themselves during an interview. Of course, this can be something like more like a more complex and interesting exercise of like going to therapy or using coaching formulas that we have a lot, like the growth technique, the SMART goals and everything, or even go to have some short tests, personality tests. We have a lot of them and they are free. And I had another tool, but I just forgot it.
No problem. Maybe later on you can share with us. We can mention in the description, or you can share on our social media channels. You mentioned some tips and tricks. Some of them are kind of short time solutions, something like that, which means, okay, focusing on, for example, the CV and how you can engage in, for example, interviews or the things like that. But at the same time, as you know better than me, focusing on developing softer skills needs more time. And as you mentioned, sometimes even it's kind of in your whole life, you have to try to do something every day, every moment. My question is, also for those people who are interested to focus on some more practical activities, kind of side activities. It's not specifically related, for example, to those main area related to their career path. Do you have any suggestions, or I don't know, have you ever tried to offer, to advise your students at Ironhack to also focus on some extra areas to develop their soft skills?
Sure. Yes. Like I think that was like the idea that I also had when I told you that I forgot. The other point that I was going to mention was about the best way that you can start working on a soft skill is to practice it. So enroll a sport, like a team sport, go to networking events, like be surrounded by people, because it is the only way that you will be capable of this. I mean, you need also self-reflection, but you also need to go to the world and talk about it and practice it and be intentional. For example, if you want to be more empathetic, you have to be intentional about it. So it's like you can also program yourself. Okay, I'm going to go and look for a conversation. What are some sentences that I can share with the person to make them feel that they are listened and understood? What are some follow-up questions that I can do? And this all sounds artificial, like calculated at the beginning, but then you will become very good at it because it's something that is going to bring you joy, and that will, of course, facilitate your adaptability to the new country, and that will help you make new friends and new connections, like professional connections or just like friend connections. And well, if you maybe want to mix it with a little bit of theory, go to Coursera, go and read a book, but mix it. You don't stay at home like behind doors, because it's not going to work.
Yeah, it's as you mentioned, it's kind of action learning. It's kind of learning by doing.
Exactly.
It's not possible just to read, to listen, to watch movies or contents related to that specific topic. If you want to learn how to collaborate with people in different contexts, you need to apply it. You need to engage in different activities. It could be kind of sports, or I don't know, even some
dancing, art.
hobbies. Yeah, makes sense. Great, fabulous. So,
oh, one more thing, man, that I would add to that is to have conversations. Like, if you have some references, like if you see people that they are existing in a way that you would like to exist in the world, go and talk to them. Ask them how they do it.
Why it's important. I mean, having conversations with others, why it's important. I agree. It's really important. Why?
Because first, having conversation is one of the ways to practice soft skills. Second, because you will get a wider perspective, like you will get another point of view, and maybe this person will share with you something that you didn't realize before, and you can start putting into practice in your own life. So, and it will help you exercise your empathy skills. So for me, conversations are the golden point here.
Based on my experience, being an advisor or coach or mentor, it's not kind of one-way communication. I mean, at the same time, you are trying to help others, but also you are learning something. Your experience of working with different students at Ironhack or anywhere else, how they changed your mindset so far?
They have helped me, like, to see, again, through conversations. For me, conversations are very powerful. And I became a psychologist because I like to talk and I like to exchange ideas. Because I feel that with many conversations, I always take something new with me. So it's always having a new perspective. And when I talk to different people every day, people from India, people from the Netherlands, like every part of the world, and they bring their stories. And for me, it's like having like a different takes in how they interpret life, and how can I also like see another perspective or another, how to say this. For me, it's like learning other ways to live life. Like everyone has different intentions, different motivations, and they have their own way to put it in a story. And sometimes they bring words that I like to take for me. I like to take some sentences, some expressions, some mindsets into my own existence and ways of connecting with others. So I believe then that what other people or my students and patients do for me and how they change me is about like learning different mindsets, learning different values.
So I think we have talked around half an hour so far.
Yes.
I have one to two main questions I want to ask you. One of them is it's about future students. You are working with them. If you want to share any kind of piece of advice for international students, I'm not talking just about the students at Ironhack, generally speaking, international students. If you want to share any kind of piece of advice for them to cope with the challenges and also navigate their career paths effectively, and maybe developing their skills, soft skills specifically, and also caring their mental health, because you are really interested in that topic as well. What are your advices and also your suggestions for them? And finally, maybe it's a good idea because you can merge this question with the next one, explaining a little bit more why mental health is really important, why it matters, specifically for those people who already started a new journey in a new settings, in a new country, in a new culture.
This is a super wide question, and I can get pretty again existential with this because of the way that I approach my own experience and my own life. But like my first advice here is to, like, if you decide to be like an international student or living in another country, it is important to approach it as a project, like with an open mind, and being open to allow a new culture, a new set of values and mindsets to take you. You need to give yourself to the experience, because if not, it's going to be like full of resistance. If you get tired only by existing, like if you resist to new things, you will be way more tired and you will be way more frustrated. Also, for me to keep my project alive of living in another country that is not mine, far from my family, which like I have very, very strong roots. And then like my family is huge and they are super close and they are always celebrating everything. And I knew that it was going to be super hard for me because I was going to miss them. But I got a lot of moments of being honest with myself. And I needed to think about once and again, and even being here, I needed to think about my values and my motivations. And where were they taking me? And what was the mindset that I needed to survive every day? Because it was hard. Even though it was my decision to get out of my country and my comfort zone, it's still hard. So I have to be very honest with myself. For me, introspection is like the most important thing, along with conversations, of course. Like I have these two things in my life, and they are the center. And then I got art, writing, dancing, and like so many things that keep me like very firm and very happy with my decision. No, like understanding your motivations, it's empowering, and it will keep your dreams and aspirations alive. And then here are some more practical things, let's say. Of course, we all need to know that this is non-linear. And there are going to be, like, you need to live day by day or week by week. One bad day doesn't mean that the rest of the week is going to be awful. No, like little by little. Yes. So the first thing, well, embrace the full experience. Reflect on your goals and values. You can use writing for this. Take some time to decide what you want to study, where do you want to work, what is the work environment that you want to be at. And of course, if it's available for you, look for a therapist or a coach or an online course. There are a lot of resources out there, and feel free to reach out to me if you want to know about them, because I used a lot of this. Also, research and prepare financially. We need to keep it real. Try to familiarize yourself with like research a little bit from the culture that you are going to know. Be aware of their market. Be aware of the things that can be a shock for you initially, because for sure you will find shocking stuff. And identify if you have savings, if your family and friends are supportive, and if they are not, then who else can be your support? Is it a bank? Is it the government? Is it a charity? Or you are just completely decided to go for the next adventure, and even though you only have few savings, you are determined and you will go there. And like, you can lose everything or win everything.
Wow. Yeah. Nice ending. So thank you so much, Lady, for sharing your experiences and advice and your point of view with us today. I wanted to ask you before we end, do you have any last advice? But I think it seems you already shared.
Yes. Well,
Still, if you have anything else, please feel free to share it, because then we want to finish this episode, and yeah.
yes. Well, just two things. Like, besides everything that I just shared, it's important to create rituals that make you feel at home. It doesn't matter where you are at. You take with you your habits, your verbs, your actions. Yeah. So for you, it's sacred to pray every day, to meditate, and to journal. This is what you need to do everywhere, even if you are in Colombia or in India or like anywhere. Yes. And then for lower days or for gray days, have your minimum viable habit. What are minimal things that you can do and that you need to accomplish that day, and then you can go and sleep if you want. But these are things that you need to like accomplish. Yeah, and that's it. And this is also for mental health, of course. Like, this will
Exactly.
have an impact in your mental health.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, reflective journalism is really helpful for thinking, coping, analyzing our personal values, even coping with the challenges in a better way. Thank you again. It's been great having you on this episode, and I really appreciate your time, and hope to talk to you soon again, maybe after a while, to share more insights. For now, for example, I think maybe it's a good idea in the future to talk about reflective journalism more, because it's really helpful, as you mentioned, and it's really useful. But let's see what future holds for us.
Of course, I would be really happy to join your
Right.
club. again. Thank you so much.
Thank you again. Thank you. And we will publish this episode on Benue Community Podcast, which is available on different platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Spotify, and others. And as you mentioned, we will add your LinkedIn profile link in the description in this episode if anyone wants to maybe connect with you and, I don't know, approach you. I think it's the best way for connecting to you. And if you have any feedback, I'm talking about our audience. If they have any feedback or comment, feel free to share with us. We are more than happy to hear about their feedback, and hopefully we will continue this journey by talking with other people as well. Thank you, and bye for now.
Super, Ben. Thank you so much.